Hey guys, I just wanted to do another video. This one I'm starting the Bible study in Hebrews 1. I think it's very important that we understand that this was written to the Hebrews who actually wanted to go back to blood and animal sacrifices every year because they had a consciousness of sin and they forgot that sin was purged. They wouldn't believe that Jesus was sent and was died, buried, and rose again on the third day according to scriptures for their justification. So this basically is Hebrews 1. This is the part where Jesus says, basically it's finished. Basically, he came and sat down at the right hand of God once the work was done. So I'm going to read Hebrews 1. Okay? So Hebrews 1. God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Verse 3, who being the brightness of his glory, and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of Majesty on high, being made so much better than the angels, as he hath by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. For unto which of the angels said he at the time, Thou art my Son, this day I have begotten thee, and again I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son? And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he said, And let all the angels of God worship him. And the angels of God, he saith, Who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flame of fire? But unto the Son, he saith, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever, and the scepter of righteousness is the scepter of my kingdom. Thou hast loved righteousness, and hated iniquity. Therefore God, even thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. And thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation. See, he's laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens, and the works of thine hands. They shall perish, but thou remainest. Who is thou? Jesus Christ. And they all shall wax old as doth a garment, and as a vesture shalt thou fold them up, and they shall be changed. But thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail. But to which of the angels said he at the time, Sit on my right hand, until I make thine enemies thy footstool? Are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? Okay, so let's stop there. That's the entire chapter. So first, the apostle is punctuating what Jesus did. He died, was buried, rose again on the third day, according to the scriptures, for our sins. He paid the blood penalty. It appeased God to crush him for our iniquities, and he even said he brought his Son back up on the Most High. He brought his Son back into inheritance with him, everlasting. You know, he spoke to the fathers by the prophets. There's going to be somebody that comes up in a different name that is going to take care of all the sin of the world. And that somebody is Jesus Christ. Okay? So hath in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things. So he's the heir of all things, Jesus is, by whom he also made the worlds, okay, who being the brightness of his glory, that's Jesus, and the express image of his person, that's him in the flesh, and of holding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself, underline this 300 times, by himself purged our sins and sat down at the right hand of Majesty on high. This sacrifice made him much better than the angels. He was already better than the angels, but it just goes to show he laid aside his divinity for us to have us redeemed to the Father. And he was the first begotten of the world, and he was the first begotten of ministers. He shares God's throne. All of these things are in God's hands. All of these things are talking about Jesus, how God holds Jesus up, and Jesus was God in the flesh. Okay? So this whole chapter is about he purged our sins, so therefore we should now have no evil conscience of sin. We shouldn't always remember our sins now, because he purged them. He didn't just cover them, he purged them. As far as the east is from the west, like gone. They're gone now. So I just wanted to give you that quick study. If you guys have any comments or questions on this, go for it. But I will be back with some other videos, and I will see you later. Hopefully that gives you great eternal security, and God bless.